So, my name is Bartholomew Sullivan. I work with Farm Radio International, which is an NGO based in Ottowa, Canada. We've been working for about 20 years, providing services to developing countries in radio stations. And we produce radio scripts and give them to broadcasters and radio stations, and allow them to adapt those radio scripts. They're they're text-based radio scripts, anywhere 10 minutes to 15 minutes, and on various topics. So anything from, say, seeds to manure, fertilizer, to how to raise oxen and breed oxen so you have better services so you can plow the fields. And then the radio stations typically take them, translate them into another language, make them more contextually localize them. So we've been doing that for about 20 years. And then recently, about 2 years ago, we were approached by the Gates Foundation. We only found out it was them afterwards, but the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation called us and said, we've done a bit of research. Apparently you guys know quite a bit about farm radio. We're interested in agriculture in Africa, and this radio medium is one of the ways that reaches the most agricultural farmers or pastoralists across Africa. Many households have a radio. It can reach many people all at once. You can have people sitting around a radio and learn together. So what research has been done about the effectiveness of radio for African farmers? So we said, unfortunately, it's never really been done. We've been doing radio scripts for 20 years, but we just sort of intrinsically know that it's effective, but there's never been research. So they said, okay, time to do some research. Here's some money. So we designed a plan to include 5 countries, so Ghana and Mali in West Africa. Mali is the only francophone country. And then in East and Southern Africa, there's Malawi, Uganda, and Tanzania. And so in each of those countries, we identified 5 radio stations. So there's 25 radio stations from a spectrum of public, private, and community. And the first year of the project was purely research. We sat down with the radio stations, we went to their listening communities, and we found out what did those communities want more information about. Those farmers, they said it would be very useful if you could tell us how to get into poultry production in a more effective way. We think there's a local market. So, okay, now that radio station in Malawi, that's what you're focusing on. So each radio station has a different agricultural improvement that they're working on with their community based on that research. So we're just entering year 3 of the research. We've developed campaigns, we've done trainings with the broadcasters, we're very tight now, we've done a lot of work with the communities, we're really enjoying the process. And so that's where we are now. The second stage, though, is, okay, granted that radio reaches the most people all at once, what tools are there that can allow those listeners to communicate back with the broadcasters? So give them feedback on the programs, track their progress, tell them, this is interesting, but now we need to move this way, or now we want access to funding, now that we know we've mastered our honey production, we've come to a roadblock because now we need, for example, this is what I'm finding, we need some money to buy this equipment that will triple the value of our honey. And if we don't get that equipment, we're just kind of like giving our product away. So this kind of feedback, we want to know how can this feedback come using ICTs. So mobile phones, even MP3 players. We're exploring that because some of the listeners are saying we want playback. We want to be able to listen on demand to the radio program. So if I missed a program or I want to hear one from last year, I want to be able to listen to it again. So that's the second stage now, is the use of ICTs. And I'm here in Maputo, Mozambique, and I'm talking to Farah. And really what I'm learning here is that there's this sort of critical mass of people who are interested in the same kind of things. Maybe not all agriculture, but really how can we leverage some of these tools to help the people who need information get better information. And so one of the most exciting projects I've heard about so far here is the Freedom Fone, which is based in Zimbabwe, and allows people to call in rather than use a text message all the time. They can call in or be called back and listen on the phone to what's called an interactive voice record, something like that, I think, IVR. And it's exciting because I think that would allow farmers to listen to more detailed programs and even record themselves asking questions to the radio stations. So I feel really fortunate to be here and have a chance to kind of like mix with what other people are doing. So I'm learning a lot.
You devil, go away from me. You devil.